Good evening, all. In today's talk show, Cancer to Canwin Talk Show, we are honored to have Dr. Vishal Rao with us. So, Dr. Vishal Rao is a member of Glasgow. He studied at USA and fellow of Royal Society of Medicine. Dr. Vishal is presently the country director, head neck surgical oncology and robotic surgery, and the dean for Center of Academic Research at Healthcare Global Cancer Center, Bangalore, India. He is a TEDx speaker and inventor of the Aum Voice Prosthesis, a low-cost speaking device for throat cancer patients, an innovation that has been considered among the 100 global social innovations across the globe and received worldwide recognition from BBC, Harvard Business Review and Forbes. He has more than 18 patents filed for his innovations on medical devices, drugs, techniques, and theories. He is a member of the consultative group to Principal Scientific Advisor, Govt of India. He is also a member of Vision Group for Biotechnology, Govt of Karnataka. He has been conferred the honorary FRCS by the Royal College of Surgeons, Glasgow, recognizing his contributions. He is the recipient of the Judy Wilkenfeld Award for Global Excellence in Tobacco Control 2017. So he has been recipient of several awards, Kempegowda Award, highest civil award conferred by the Bangalore Corporation, the Varshada Kannadiga Award 2018 for his contributions in science and technology, Rotary Vocational Training Award 2016 for inventing the voice prosthesis for his throat cancer patients. So he is presently editor of Journal of Precision Oncology and has more than 100 national and international publications to his credit, and is reviewer for 10 international journals. He is an international advisor to World Health Organization tobacco-free initiatives, partners in collaboration with state and union government to implement the WHO FCTC Framework Convention for Tobacco Control through National Tobacco Control Program. He has been a visiting faculty to Johns Hopkins University Leadership Programs. He is a member of High-Powered Committee on Tobacco Control and Cancer Control Government of Karnataka. So thank you so much, Doctor, for being here with us today, for spreading the cancer awareness to all the people watching here. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwini.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll first start the questions, Doctor. So can you please tell us about head and neck cancer and why it is being caused?
See, today, Ashwini, when we talk about cancer and we talk about the apprehensions around cancer, one of the things that we always hear about, and I'm talking about cancer in general, but again, head and neck cancer, specifically when you look at it, more than 90% are causatively related to tobacco, more than 90% of it. The second important contributing reason has been alcohol consumption, and the third has been related to infections, primarily the human papilloma virus, and the fourth related to trauma, teeth or denture injuries that you are getting tumors. So now we know that trauma contribute to the causation of tumors. These broadly, I would say, come in the ambit of our causation for head and neck cancers. If you take a little broader perspective of the word cancer today in the society, and everybody uh, somewhere is concerned because this was not such a common word in the previous couple of decades. Suddenly, we are hearing more and more of this within one family. You see the near and dear ones would have heard this word within the close circles, within a closely knit family. So one starts to wonder, why are we hearing so much about cancer? And I think there's no one single reason, but I would summarize and say that today, if you look at our mindset itself, I think the societal mindset is somewhere changing towards an instant, unlimited, and a more era. We are searching for instant coffee, instant pizza, instant food, instant gratification, instant love, sometimes instant marriage and divorce also. The that kind of a mindset of instant, unlimited food. You are searching more for buffets wherein where your body's needs are limited, but you are giving it unlimited kind of food, or in terms of buy one get one free to buy two, buy one get two free kind of a mindset. And this kind of a mindset itself, which we call the vulture capitalistic approach, sometimes creates an approach wherein we are creating an environment filled with carcinogens, from our mindset to the food we eat to the air we breathe, preservatives, chemical adulterants, pesticides, you name it, we are today surrounded by carcinogens. So I think today there is a larger impending threat for us that is looming on us, and a responsibility that shines on us to say that we will need to protect the next generation from the aftermath of the pandemic of cancers in the future.
True,
So
true.
we have thus, I think, a broad range of reasons before us.
True, doctor. That's really true. So it is like our entire together. It's like putting together. Everything plays a factor. The life that we are leading right now. So as you rightly said. So thanks for that explanation, doctor. So what are the symptoms of head and neck cancer?
I think what I would broadly put up is, if you look at the head and neck region, that is from the region of below the brain, the area of the eyes, the area of the nose, the area of the throat, the area of the voice machine, the area of the food pipe, and the area of the neck. There are some very classical, important signs that we need to understand of these regions. Most commonly, that we see are, this area is the area that gives identity to our life. It is the area of the face, it is the area of the head, it is the area of the neck that gives identity to us. And most commonly, when we see functionally, we see the initial disturbances in terms of speech, in terms of swallow, or in terms of breathing. These are some three symptoms that we often come across that disturb or come in the way of the patient's quality of life, and thus are an early warning sign. But in general, any ulcer, any kind of swelling, any kind of symptoms in this region that does not subside for more than a month should indicate a chronic disease, one of which could be cancer. And I'm re-emphasizing this, that there are many reasons for chronic diseases, so we need not hit a panic button every time. And I think the one specific mention in this today that is being debated across the world is that thyroid swellings are a very common swelling that we see, and today we are picking up a whole lot of thyroid cancers. And this is where I think we need to improve the knowledge, impart this knowledge to the audience to say that when we create, thyroid swellings are very common. Often there is a tendency to go and put what kind of a growth it is, and oftentimes you see them come with a report saying there is a suspicion, and you end up with the surgery. I have been advocating this to raise awareness to say that that is leading to an unnecessary rise in the number of thyroid surgeries across the world. And this has been brought to the notice of Global Experts to say that that is leading to an unnecessary rise in the number of thyroid surgeries across the world. And this has been brought to the notice of Global Experts to say, and American Thyroid Association and many other global associations have raised enough of awareness to say to the people that don't go in for unnecessary screening
Okay.
ultrasounds. What is important in such kind of settings is that in the fear and anxiety of searching for cancer, you may pick up things which are not relevant and thus end up over treating. But if you have high risk features, that is a family history of cancer, if you have history of tobacco usage, chronic alcohol usage, or any ulcer that doesn't heal for more than a month, a swelling that is bleeding, definitely it needs attention. But on the other hand, creating panic, worry, and overdiagnosing is also harmful. Especially, I would the example of thyroid cancers, which today we know have been overtreated because they are very low grade cancers. People come to us with a wrong mindset that, oh, this is life threatening, which is not.
Okay, okay. That's really very wonderful what you have said. Like generally we no need of going for scans very frequently, as you said. Generally, people have the mindset of being scared and going for scans each and every time. So thanks for that, doctor. And the next question: once a patient is diagnosed with head and neck cancer, so what are the different treatment options available?
Broadly, when we talk about cancer in general, and head and neck cancer is no different, there are three or four important options that lie before us. Primarily, if you look at head and neck cancers, majority of the cancers are treated with surgery. However, today in the era of organ preservation, we are seeing a lot of surgeries that are focused of the swallowing of the cosmetics. And so, if you look at the broader array of treatments in cancer, we have surgery, we have radiation, we have chemotherapy, and recently we have immunotherapy. So we have four broad options that we have in the gamut of cancer treatment. In head and neck cancers today, we are seeing more and more of the surgical options of surgical organ preservations, which towards preserving the speech, swallow, the cosmetics being used increasingly. However, there are many areas like voice box cancers and other areas where non-surgical organ preservation techniques like chemo and radiation have been very effective to save the voice box. I think the important aspect has been to try and pick up these cancers early.
Okay, doctor. So you have my next question. You have given the greatest invention for India. It's like this that is called Aum Device Prosthesis. And what inspired you to bring this invention, doctor? Like, is there any story behind it?
You know, Ashwini, the whole intent behind bringing this invention, and today I have a India patent and US patent granted for this device, has been to create that bridging of inequality to poor patients who used to lose their voice box to throat cancer. And the other aspect that I wanted to work towards was to create India at the forefront of innovation. So it's been a complex, arduous journey in terms of innovation because I've been a surgeon, but in going into the area of inventions, going into the area of understanding and creating new devices, the one thing that comes to strike to me is when we created and invented Om, we never thought of the implications, we never thought of the potential outreach of it. We wanted to give it to one patient, one poor security guard who wanted to speak again. And today, there are thousands of people who are speaking with this device who haven't spoken earlier, who are now speaking with this again. And in this journey for me, I think the important learnings has been to try and see how can we make speech as a right and not just a privilege.
That's really great, doctors. Your answer was really inspiring. I think all would have inspired, like making inventions for the world, for the betterment of each and every individual. That is really great. Great thought process. So my next question: what is the? Can you please tell us more about the ARM device, doctor?
Actually, Home Voice Prosthesis is a implantable medical device. It is platinum cured medical grade silicon. It's made up of platinum cured medical grade silicon, which is implanted into the patient's food pipe and air pipe to fit there, and it converts your food pipe into a voice box. Now, a lot of these patients, especially in stage 4 cancers, where their voice box is removed, then in those cases, we fit this machine to help the patient speak again. And that has been the intent and the motive behind the machine of voice prosthesis to help convert the food pipe into a voice box and thus help a person who has lost his voice box speak again.
Okay, that's superb, doctor. So now, since you are specialized at robotic surgery as well, so my question is like, which is better? Is like robotic surgery better than open surgery, or how it is, doctor?
See, I think both surgeries today have its own place in the gamut of the treatments of patients. Robotic surgeries is relatively new, and while it sounds very fancy, I think the aim and object of a particular tool remains the same tool to cut maximum amount of so robotic is seen as a new tool to the armamentarium of surgeons. And if you look at it interestingly, we generally surgeons face, we always say that we have two eyes and we have 10 important instruments. That is our fingers. Now the robot has one eye and it has two hands. If you look at it, we surgeons have small eyes and we have big hands. But the robot has big eyes, one single eye, but very big eye, and it has two hands, which are very small, which can go to remote places which conventionally our hands cannot go to. And the visuals and optics are so enhanced that it makes the surgical experience little more enjoyable. Now, all of this bundled into one, it helps in giving patients a little better functional and a little better cosmetic outcome at the current rate. Does it help improve cure rates? In a way, this will be very morbid, or one, it improves outcomes. But in general, robot is a good effective tool and in right cases an excellent outcome.
Okay. Thanks for answering that. And my next question, doctor. So, what is the survival and recurrence rate for head and neck cancer when it comes to that?
See, the biggest bane, Ashwini, for us in head and neck cancer has been that 80% of our cancers in this country in head and neck are diagnosed late. So most of them being in the mouth cancers, the tongue, the jaw, the cheek, and that leads to late diagnosis. Now, the late diagnosis of cancers itself leads to detrimental in survival because if you look at early cancers, they are stage 1 and stage 2 cancers, and advanced cancers are stage 3 and stage 4. By looking at them, the early cancers and advanced cancers, when you compare them, the advanced cancers have half the survival as that of the early cancers. So if the early cancers have a survival 5 year of 90% of them living up to 5 years, it reduces drastically to 40% in stage 3 and stage 4 in a generic note. So it has been very important to say that in head and neck, that's why a lot of emphasis that has been laid out by governments, NGOs, hospitals, and clinicians is towards early detection, trying to pick up the symptom early. That is more powerful tool than any of the latest new drugs that has been put into the inventory of the pharma or into medical devices. That it is better to pick up the cancer early and cure the patient, give them a better survival than to diagnose them late, and that itself is the reason for reoccurrences. The higher the stage, the higher the chances of reoccurrences, and that is why it is very important that we try to put all our efforts at primary health, secondary health, to pick up these symptoms early, especially because, like I told earlier, they involve speech, swallow, breathing, and cosmetics. It is it is something that is visible to us, and we should not be in a position to say that we missed it and ignored it because we assumed it to be something else.
True, that's true, doctor. So I think, as you said, maybe the people need more awareness, like to identify them earliest in the earlier stages, so that they have higher rates of survival and recurrence as well. So my next question, doctors, what are the prevention methods for the head and neck cancer?
Ashwini, broadly, if you look at the word prevention, it comes under three headings: primary prevention, secondary prevention, and tertiary prevention. Primary prevention gives a lot of emphasis on policies. Policies that, like I spoke about the WHO FCTC earlier, you were mentioning about the Framework Convention for Tobacco Control, the world's first international public health treaty to reduce tobacco. I personally believe today that this is a department that does not need to exist. My department need not exist at all. It's a man-made department because of habits that people consume into. So the most important thing for us to do today is in primary prevention, work towards effective tobacco control, which also includes helping people quit tobacco if they have started. The tobacco industry always aims at having more amount of youngsters because in this country, every year about 10 lakh people die each year, 1 million die each year because of tobacco alone. So the industry needs new recruits. So they take it from the youngsters. In a regular manner. The secondary prevention talks about early diagnosis, picking up the cancer early. That is called a secondary prevention. Today, with the advent of technologies and with the advent of intraoral screening devices, mobile phones, with apps that we are working with a couple of groups to ensure that they are able to quickly screen in the era of digital pathology where we can diagnose quickly. We are at the right time to actually say that we can work on working with technology to pick up these cancers early. One of our recent papers at HCG was published on looking at how to use saliva as a biomarker to pick up cancer using genetics, which has been
Okay.
published in one of the renowned journals in cancer. So a lot of efforts is going on to try and look at non-invasive tools that can pick up cancer. And finally, tertiary prevention, which talks about survivorship, which talks about how do you prevent and create survivor groups of patients, ensure compliance for follow-up, regularly work towards improving compliance for follow-up in an effective manner so that if there is a reoccurrence of a tumor, we pick it up early.
Okay, okay, doctor. Thanks. That was a very detailed explanation. So my last question to you, doctor, how you see the approach of leading a healthy lifestyle in terms of physical, emotional, and mental wellness is important to prevent and heal from cancer in this era, especially in this,
See,
I could say, the digital era.
correct. And like I said earlier, we are living in an era where there is instant, unlimited, and more desires. And in this particular era, somehow we seem to be looking at every single aspect of the facet as stress. I, on the contrary, somewhere spoke saying that there is enough evidence to say that stress itself can cause healing. When we talk about stress in today's lifestyle and blame everything on stress, as physicians today, the last 2 years of COVID that we went through was so difficult, and we had no option but to heal ourselves. In this journey, it is very important for us as doctors to take up a very important aspect. That is, even I say in stage 4 cancer, when the tumor has spread everywhere, sometimes we are all busy talking about killing the cancer cell. If you can shift your approach also towards eliminating the cancer cells, but at the same time protecting the immune system, healing your body, and protecting your immune system, how does it happen? It happens through food as medicine. Food as medicine is a very powerful tool by which we can actually reactivate the immune system. Air, through yoga, pranayama, breathing techniques, through good amount of water, which is a good detoxificant. Three simple steps by kind of delinking diet and nutrition. Diet is what we take for satisfaction. To nutrition is what we take to build the immune system. I think predominantly we have everything in our basket today, and there is never a better time in history when information is so easily available. Things like lifestyle modification tools are so readily available at the click of a button. It is just the intent to motivate ourselves that is the least easily available today. And I think, for example, simple things like today we know that sitting is the new smoking. Just by trying to ensure that I stand up enough and keep being physically active enough is a great contribution towards maintaining a healthy life. Similarly, a good breathing. Similarly, avoiding too much of unnecessary junk calories. Today, we know that cancer cells live on sugar. How much of sugar and calorie intake we have increased in our body, but we've reduced vegetables, fruits, sprouted vegetables, green leafy vegetables, fiber intake, protein intake has drastically reduced. Not artificial powder proteins, natural proteins that we need to take. And in such a simple manner, I think we can rebuild and reclaim the stakes of healthy living for our own selves.
Yeah, that was really a very good answer. I mean, I could say like a holistic level, you have given a clear answer, doctor, like how to lead a healthy lifestyle. It would be really helpful for all the people who are watching here, and for all the YouTube subscribers who are like many of them are cancer survivors. They would have got lots of information from this session. And at the end, I would just like to tell to all the people watching this. So like my mission is also to create awareness on cancer in order to help the people. Like as doctor rightly said, it's like a holistic living has to be there. So I'm myself being a cancer survivor have learned a lot after my diagnosis. Like I learned like what all the mistakes I did in my past, which landed me to that phase. So for that, I'm conducting webinars. So free webinars, which would be really helpful for all the people on healthy lifestyle. If anyone find it helpful, please you can also join in. And thank you so much, doctor, for your time. And I know you're so busy and you have spent your time and you have explained to us a lot more about the lot more than cancer, about leading lifestyle and everything. Once again, thank you, doctor.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all your efforts, Ashwini. I congratulate you. I wish you all the best. Namaste.
Thank you so much, doctor. Thank you.